And good morning. And good morning, good morning, good morning. How are y'all today? Gonna give my people a couple of minutes to come on, come on, come on. And I'm going to tag some people. How's everybody doing out there in the book of faces? Uh-oh, there I am. There I am. Here, there I am. You would think, it's 2:30. It's 2:30. It's 9 and 2:30. Look, Michelle, and guess who didn't call me? Guess who didn't call me? Kim Armstrong did not call me. So I need you to do some good old tagging if you don't mind, ma'am. I got to figure out how to undo this. How was your weekend? She did not. She did not. Mm-mm. She did not. So I gotta send her a message. I gotta send her a message. Look, as soon as I get up off of here, and I'm not gonna be on here long. Some days, Michelle, some days I just feel like I'm out here being a mad scientist because I got. All right, cool. I got all these notes about everything all over here, and I need to get them organized. It is. I'm gonna ask chat if there's a way to fix this extreme delay between what I say and y'all's response. It's gotta be a way. Good morning, Kim Armstrong. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, Kim. But at any rate, okay, it's 9:07. It's 9:07. Hello, y'all. This is Karen Booth. I am the baggage handler. I am the purse pusher. I am a whole lot of things. Today we are oh, somebody say it, Courtney, for me. Today we are here with Tea and Truth. You see, I got my team on. They won yesterday. We're here on Tea and Truth, and here is my tea. Mm-hmm. Haven't gone to the grocery store, so it's still just regular tea. I'm gonna look it up. Good morning, Auntie Barbara. So today I just have my regular orange pico tea and my black mint tea, some lemon juice, and some cranberry juice and honey. Michelle, there actually is a way. I looked real quick, and it has to do with internet speed. So we'll see, and how I broadcast from StreamYard. So we'll see how that is. Today, y'all, today. We are going to talk briefly, and I think this is going to be something where I just stay here all week. Um, so I have this thing about unforgiveness, and I want everybody to be free from it. And so unforgiveness is one of those things that can hinder your prayers. So I'm asking you today, are your prayers hindered? Are your prayers hindered by unforgiveness? And there are several scriptures that talk about what hinders you getting an answer from your prayers. And so I was looking at these things, and I was saying that, Isaiah 59:2 says, your iniquities have separated you from your God. Psalm 66:18. If I regard iniquity in my heart, the Lord will not hear me. Matthew 18:35. So will my heavenly Father do to you if each of you from his heart does not forgive his brother his trespasses. And so I think I've said before that forgiveness is a condition for answered prayer. God expects us to release others. Golly, they wasn't doing this a minute ago. God expects us to release others if we want to live in his forgiveness and blessing, right? And so I thought, some of the scriptures say sin. Some of the scriptures say trespass. Some of the scriptures say iniquity. And so I thought, I wonder, do we know the difference between the three? Because when we're sitting in church and we're listening to the preacher preach, or we're at the Bible study, we're at Bible study, and we hear those terms, and we often, we know that, oh gosh, that stood up like that. We know that it's a violation of God's law, right? We get that. But I think with that, we don't know the clear difference between the three. And so I just thought I'd talk for a moment about those three things, and then I'm gonna get on out your way so you can get your Monday going, right? So, sin, iniquity, and trespass. These three words are often used interchangeably in English, but in scripture they carry different shades of meaning. Understanding them helps reveal why unforgiveness is so spiritually damaging. So, sin, the literal meaning is to miss the mark. It is the failure to meet God's standards, whether by action, thought, or omission. thought, word, and deed, omission, commission, all that. It's the general term for falling short of divine perfection. Unforgiveness is sin because it misses the mark of God's love, his mercy, and likeness. It contradicts his nature. Okay? That's sin. Trespass, the literal meaning is to slip, fall, or go beyond a boundary. A trespass is a specific act of crossing a moral or relational line, an offense against God or other person. Unforgiveness often arises from a trespass. Somebody has crossed the line, but holding on to it becomes your trespass, crossing the line of mercy. So when we think of a trespass, you think of something that was, good morning, Courtney, something that was intentionally done. Somebody set out, or you set out. Ah! Trespass is very intentional. Trespass is like, it's like the parable of the unforgiving servant. That's one of the things I use in my class, where the servant owed the king some money. The king forgave the servant. The servant went out in the streets. One of his counterparts owed him an amount of money way less than what the king forgave. He did not forgive. He did not forgive the servant who owed him a minuscule amount, like 1/10 of what he had just gotten forgiven. Well, y'all know, folks be always watching you. So some of the other people who knew that he got forgiven of this grand amount of money went back and told the king that, after you forgave this dude, he got out there in these streets and he didn't forgive this dude who owed him $1, and you done forgave him for owing you $100,000. And so the king said, all right, dude, you gonna finna go and be put in chains, and you finna be tortured until you can pay me my money, because you intentionally didn't forgive this other person. Right? And so the scripture in that story, that is one of my when I read that was one of my big things about, going on and forgiving, because the king told this dude, okay, since you didn't forgive this dude over here after I forgave you, I'm going to put you in this place. You're going to be chained up. You're going to be tortured until you can pay the debt. Well, now he couldn't pay the debt when he was free. So now he locked up and tortured. And the king said, I'm going to hold you till you can. Well, how is he going to ever pay the debt? So he's not ever going to be able to pay the debt. And he's going to be tortured on top of it. All because of this trespass. Because he intentionally chose not to forgive. That's why I be telling y'all, it costs you too much to not forgive the people. It costs you way too much. All of our choices, that's right, Courtney, all of our choices have consequences, and I choose forgiveness. Michelle, what you mean, am? So anyway, so then there is iniquity. There is iniquity. And so the literal meaning of iniquity is crookedness, perversity, bentness. 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 The definition says that iniquity refers to a deep moral distortion, not just doing wrong, but having an inner twist or bent towards wrong. It's sin that becomes ingrained, or a pattern or condition of the heart. Unforgiveness becomes iniquity when bitterness, my hair is doing this thing back, when bitterness sets in and reshapes the heart's character. When offense becomes identity. When your identity is, they did that to me. When you talk about it so much that's what people know you by. And so I was thinking, as I was preparing for this is that, I had something, y'all know the story by now. Y'all had something horrible to happen to me when I was a child. And as an adult, I had all of this bitterness, all of this rage, all of this anger, all of this inside of my heart. And so I was like, well, Lord, was I in iniquity because of that? The answer was yes. The answer was yes, because I was bitter, and I was resentful, and I was all of the things that it says. My heart had gotten shaped in a different kind of way other than how God had shaped it. All because what happened, and I literally would say, I'm not going to forgive that person. I'm not. I said it for years. I said it for years because how could I? Why should I? What they did to me, there's look, this me. There's no reason for me to forgive them. Good morning, Shannon. There's no reason to forgive them the way that they did, the way that that person did me. And you would think that he knew better. And this was before God took me through the forgiveness process, right? I was like, there's no reason for me to forgive them. They was grown. They knew better. They were grown. I was baby. And then God took me through the whole forgiveness thing and showed me some things and told me some things and worked with me. And this did not happen in an hour. It happened over the course of time. It happened over the course of a while. A while. So, when because my heart was bent towards the wrongness of unforgiveness. Because I thought I was right in feeling that way. Now, was I right to be hurt? Yeah. hmm Was I right? Were my feelings right in being upset? The feelings that I had. Good grief. Those were all appropriate feelings. The issue came when I let the feelings just go too far. And I didn't know not to let them go too far. I was young, and I was just out here in these no Bible reading streets. I was going to church. I love the Lord. I had heard lessons about forgiveness, and even through those lessons about forgiveness, I still said, I can't do it. Cried through the lessons. I remember Ricky Hicks was my pastor at the time, and he was talking about forgiveness, and I was like, there is no way. Fighting mad and crying. And he was like, yeah, yeah, Karen, you got to. And I said, I didn't have any tools. And so that unforgiveness, here goes. That unforgiveness is a door for the enemy to just come on in and just turn your heart all the wrong kind of way. Because that's how iniquity works. That's how iniquity misshapes your thinking. It's how, and now look, and I was singing in the choir. I was I was going to church, and I was doing all the things, heart been in iniquity. So as Courtney said right here, she said, Lord, show me and shape my heart to be more pliable to yours daily. then my heart wasn't pliable because then I was like, I know I'm right for feeling this way. Now I wonder during that time, how many prayers did I pray that got delayed, that got hindered? Now some of them got answered. Now I'm not saying that no won't none of your prayers get answered because some of them got answered because I was able to get some things done at work. I was able to uh, buy a house and get vehicles and you know live a pretty good life in iniquity. So it's not like you just out here gonna be destitute and gonna be out here roaming the streets. But how much more could I have experienced? And again, I didn't have no bad life. I didn't have no bad life. I was able to take a vacation to Hawaii. I was able to do some incredible type things, right? But what more did God have for me? What more did God have for me? What kind of decisions did I make? Because another thing that unforgiveness and living in iniquity does is it messes with your ability to hear God clearly. And when you can't hear God clearly, then you make these half-baked decisions. Excuse me. When I say half-baked decisions, I mean you might choose it's me, it's my testimony. You might choose to date somebody, and that person might have a lot of potential. Y'all remember that commercial? You got potential. You got potential. And that nose keep growing. Yes, yes, Shannon. Why did I call you Sharon? Yes, Shannon. We had a good time. Me and Miss Aretha Ward and oh, who else went? Her sister. It was two Miss Wards, and yes, it was about Evelyn went. We had a great time. And I was thankful to God for that trip. And I was also bent in iniquity. Me and Shannon been together a long time. And yes, so I was bent in iniquity. I was because I was so hung up in unforgiveness. Now, the flip side of all of that is I made some relationship decisions that who child, because maybe God said, don't mess with him now. Maybe God said he a good dude, but you need to be by yourself. Because maybe we do, we do. Because maybe um, he wanted me to sit down so that he could take care of this unforgiveness that was, you know. So these are the different things that I want y'all to think about today. Sin misses the mark. Trespass crosses the line. Iniquity bends the heart. All three unforgiveness does. Unforgiveness misses the mark. It bends the heart. It crosses the line. It misses mercy. It twists the heart. It crosses the boundary of grace, creating conditions where prayer cannot thrive. Does that make sense? So, so there's more that I'm going to talk about. But I'm gonna leave it at this tonight. 25 minutes is good enough. 25 minutes is good enough. Hey Celeste. I meant to tag you. I'm sorry, I forgot. Um, so y'all, as soon as I get off of here, I'm going to create my link for my class that I'm going to offer all this week. I've been talking about it for a month, so the time has come. Next week is coming out, and I'm going to start my next round of the Freedom Through Forgiveness journey. I'm going to create this link today. So if you would like to participate in the class, it is a 6-week class. It is a 6-week class. The investment is $97. Afterpay is an option. I would love to see all of you in my class. But put something in the comments. Say me in the comments if you would like for me to send you the link directly so you can take this class so that we can close out 2025 without all this baggage going into 2026. We want to be clear. We want to be free. We want to be able to hear God. We want our prayers to be answered. We want to be able to hear his instructions clearly so that we can, today, so that we can abound in all good things and in all good works for his glory. Okay? All right. So that's it for today. Now, we're on the new schedule. We're at 9 o'clock Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're at 2:30 on Tuesday and Thursday. We're just trying to see where the where I can reach, where my reach is the greatest. So, if you can join me on 2:30 at 2:30 tomorrow, thank you so much. To my replay crew, thank you for watching. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow afternoon. Y'all have a good day. Magnificent Monday.